Welcome back to First Edition. Christmas just a little over a week away. And while the holidays can bring excitement and joy, there are people for whom the season can trigger sensory overload. Well, joining me now is Dr. Janine Hubbard with this week's Get Psyched with Dr. Janine. It's great to see you.
Well, as always.
So, why can the holidays be so challenging for both children and adults with, I guess, anxiety and neurodiversity such as ADHD and autism?
Well, and this is why I wanted to highlight these tonight, because this is a group or several groups that people often don't think about, who spend a lot of the holidays trying to hold it together as best they can. Because here's the thing, we know that even positive stress and the excitement of the holidays is still stress. And it can still result in a lack of structure, a lack of routine, and all of those are things that tend to really help individuals with neurodiversity and anxiety to get through things. When you know what to expect, when you have that structure, it reduces anxiety. And so we know that especially if you think about, say, something like social anxiety, who's going to be there? What's going to happen? The change in routine, the expectations. We know that, the lights and the music and the having to socialize with people and the being expected to eat foods that, well, I mean, our traditional meal has a whole lot of things that go together and touch and have like sauces, and those can often be really overwhelming for individuals with sensory difficulties. Not to mention, just if you're an individual with ADHD, first of all, emotion regulation can go on overload even when it's good excitement, but also just the huge number of pressures as an adult even to do all of the planning and the multitasking and all of the things that come along with holidays can really put pressure on individuals who may experience some of these issues.
Well, I guess even just being places on time.
Being places on time with all of the required things and all of the gifts and all of the food and what did we leave in the freezer and what did we forget to buy. I mean, it's challenging enough for most of us, let alone if you have some of those additional challenges.
And I guess just our conversation alone may be a little triggering for some people.
Well, possibly, but this is why I want to make sure people are aware of it, because it's so invisible in so many cases. People may not know about a diagnosis in a family member or a guest, or it may not be something that's talked a lot about. That's why I wanted to bring it out in the open, because there's a couple of things that you can do. Some pre-planning. I know that sounds like the reverse of what we just talked about, but being able to say, look, you know what? I do find that being around all the company is amazing and exciting and I love it, but then I also realize that I get really dysregulated. So I'm going to ask my host, for example, is there a room that I could go in just to kind of breathe? Or if I'm someone who has panic symptoms, is there a place that I could just go that's quiet? Conversely, can I take the dog out for a walk? Can I send my kids out to the backyard to run around and blow off some steam? So that checking in ahead of time and saying, look, I don't want things to get overwhelming. The other thing I would say is this is not the time to be judgmental about people's behaviors or their parenting. Shouldn't ever be, but listen, if having your kid eat a plate of mashed potatoes and not touch any of the other ingredients is what's going to get them through the day without having a meltdown, who cares? Let it go. Or again, that being mindful of, oh, you know what? Actually, I could really use your help. Could I get you to take this garbage bag, out to the bin down at the bottom of the, driveway? You don't really need it done at that moment, but that gives the individual a chance to have some quiet space, some activity, chance to re-regulate their emotions. So it's being mindful and appreciative that, it's a challenging time for a lot of people. They want to be able to enjoy it to its fullest, which also sometimes means needing to take a time out or maybe needing to attend activities for smaller periods of time.
Dr. Janine Hubbard, I've been trying to take notes while you're talking because some of these might even help me, but I thank you so much for coming in and helping everyone who's watching this evening.
Hopefully there's a few useful tips, and it's just being a little bit more mindful and trying to make it an enjoyable experience for all of your family and your guests and yourselves.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.